Hi, I'm Shay.
I'm Shelly. Happy first weeks of school, everyone. Whether you started at the end of August or you started this week, you're all building a new community together.
Which is quite exciting and a little
Nerve-wracking.
nerve-wracking. But one of the things you have to think about when you're building this community, ooh, we jumped ahead there. I'm going back. That. Okay.
Homework.
What is it? Why do we do it? Do we grade it? And I will tell you, homework can be one of the biggest issues you have with parents, to be honest with you. How much? Too hard, too easy. Why do you do it? And some of them will just point out, say, I'm not doing it. We don't do it.
So we don't call it homework anymore. We call it home practice.
Why?
Because practice is really what you should be doing. You're not doing work. You are practicing the skills that you have been taught either that week or the week before.
And you know, we don't
You're
hesitate.
not learning, you're practicing.
And we don't hesitate to have our children, and parents don't hesitate to have our children participate in sports practices, which can be a couple of hours a night.
Instrumental.
Yes.
Dance.
Yes, because they're building skills. And if we look at homework as home practice, we can say, hey, we're doing the same thing now.
But we're just practicing.
So what questions should you ask yourself when you think about, how do I give home practice? One, do I give it? Yes. There is a benefit if it's done
correctly.
Yes.
How much do we give?
That's going to depend on the age of the child. And
do we grade it?
Okay, let's jump in.
Those are the questions that we're going to answer right now.
So what's the purpose?
So the purpose with specifically math is to review any concepts that you've already learned. If they don't practice math concepts, they lose them. I don't know if anybody's ever said that to you before, but I know, like a foreign language, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right. And
Same is true with math concepts. Whether it's addition, subtraction, fractions, if you don't use them, you're going to lose them. So we always did the Fast Five, which Shay's going to post that at some point somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to talk
to
about
show
it
you
later.
what it looks like. It's literally a 4-line grid by 5 across. Every little box has a different problem. They get 5 problems a week or a night, and they're all problems that we've already taught and done. They aren't anything new. It's practice. It's great. We came up with this because as we taught, we kept reviewing concepts from the past over and over again so that they never lost it. Came to May to take that math test, boom, problems that are on that math test, they've been seeing all year. They weren't strange.
That's right. And we made sure for every set of practice problems that they had examples they could refer to at any point, either themselves, their parents, whether it be in notes on the sheet or something online that they could refer to.
Right.
So,
ELA, we did spelling. We really focused on spelling rules. Spelling, I know there's spell check everywhere, but guess what? You don't always have your phone and a computer on you, and you don't want to look silly. You want to know how to spell. So we focused on spelling rules. We did have a spelling program, which was very beneficial.
Exactly.
But we would give spelling homework every night, whether it was writing 5 sentences. We never made them do 10 or 20. That's a waste of their time.
Right.
We always said, choose 5 sentences and try to put maybe the 10 words in it.
Exactly.
Or 5 words. Or we'd rainbow color the words. Or we'd ask them to make a crossword puzzle or a word search. Give them a graph piece of paper. Boom. They can create amazing things.
They can.
Even, you could have them take different spelling words and make a collage out of them. Be creative. Be fun.
And think about it. How much? Because basically we taught 5th grade together. Shelly had taught anywhere from K on up through 6, every single grade level practically.
I did.
I taught 3rd and 5th. And how much homework do you give? Now, we both were fans of Monday through Thursday. Friday night, there was no homework unless there was a
Never a
major test coming
vacation.
up. And
Because
no,
what does
no
the word
vacation.
vacation mean? It means not doing anything that you're used to doing.
Exactly.
Free time.
And remember, that's the grade level we taught, so we could do that. We realize when you're working with older students, you don't necessarily have that luxury, but how much? We wanted to start, you want to start them young to start to build the habit of doing something every night. So starting in kindergarten, it's recommended 5 minutes a night per grade. So kindergarten really kind of counts as one times five. Right. And then you move right on up until you're like in fifth grade. And now in fifth grade, you've been through K through 5. That's 6 times 5, that's 30 minutes.
Right.
And what I would tell my parents is, okay, this is how much time you should allot for this homework. If your child is struggling, if they've worked
That's
really
exactly
hard,
right.
some students work slower than others, just make a note. We worked on this 20 minutes, send it in, because that gives me information. So if I decide, okay, as I walk around, you'll do the entire page, I might see this other student, I'm like, okay, I will cross out certain problems just to make sure that the homework isn't so overwhelming and stressful that it turns
you also
into
want them to be practicing it correctly.
right.
If they, I've seen teachers give 20 problems of division and the kid's struggling to get through 10 of them and they're not doing it right. What are you teaching them? You're teaching them to do something wrong over and over again. Now it's going to take you 3 times as long to get them to learn it correctly.
Right.
Keep it short, keep it sweet. If they don't know how to do it, have their parents sign off on it. You don't want to waste their time or yours because it's going to take you, like I said, 3 times as long to undo what they've learned concrete.
For some reason, when they learn something wrong, they seem to know it better than when they learn it
Yeah,
right.
they do. They do. So always make it be the right practice.
Exactly. Now, do you grade it? I'm going to be honest with you. No.
No,
because
we never graded.
When you grade it, who are you grading? We don't know for sure who did that homework. Maybe they copied a neighbor. Maybe their parents helped them. Maybe their parents did it. Unfortunately, I had parents that did do the homework.
But it's also practice. Is the coach there watching them practice shooting the ball at the lacrosse net and grading them? No. The practice is for the big game day. That's what it's about.
Right.
This home practice is about the big game day. When they're taking a quiz, when they're taking a test, or better yet, they need it for the next couple concepts like math facts, adding and subtracting. If they can't do it when they get to fractions, they're going to struggle even more. It's going to weigh them down. Those are the game days.
Right.
Practice at home is about game days. It's not about grading the practice.
Now, does that mean that we didn't track whether or not they got it done? We did.
We always tracked.
Yes, we had different routines in place, but we always tracked if they had it done.
I was a very accountable sort of person. So I had a class list and it got to be kind of overwhelming for me every day to go through and check their homework. So as one of my jobs, I had a homework checker in 5th grade. They would go through and look to see if everybody had done their homework. I gave them a master answer sheet and they would look to see, did they get, the correct answers? And they would come back to me and say, oh, everybody had a hard time with problem 2, Mrs. E. Okay, that's the one I would go over. Right. I wouldn't go over all 5 questions every day.
Too much time.
Because we got cut down to 45 minutes for a math lesson. That's really a very short period of time. You don't want to spend 15 minutes of that going over homework last night.
No.
Because again, it was practice. It should be easy enough that they can do it and you don't have to reteach it. That's what it is. It's practice.
Exactly. And so when we're thinking about homework, can we change the name, please, to home practice?
Definitely.
Because the reality is it's not a time to learn a new concept. It's not even really a time to practice something you just learned that day. It's a time to practice concepts that have been covered and need to be revisited. And sometimes you might add a little additional piece, a couple of practice problems from what you're doing at that day, which is fine as long, oh, please provide examples for your students to use, because I know I've tutored students where that doesn't happen. And there's nothing nearly as frustrating for a parent as to not being able to help their child and having their child feel so stressed out because they need to get this done or they're not going to get a good grade. Let's try to avoid that. So from now on, let's try to change our mindset and call it homework practice.
Home practice.
Oh, home practice. I'm sorry.
Home
See,
practice.
I'm still putting the word work in there. We got to
So,
get it out.
We hope you all enjoyed our quickie. Here we are telling you all about home practice and how to make it easier in your room. Next time,
we'll talk grading.
We're going to talk grading. The different types. There's all different types to use. It shouldn't all be black and white. So, until next time, we wish you all a successful community building year.
Enjoy.